Greetings and salutations, everybody. It's David Duford here at DeFord Insurance Group, where I train and recruit agents nationally to sell things like final expense, Medicare, and now annuities. I'm joined with my partner in crime, as they say, Mr. Maybe that's what old Dave Ramsey says, as we'll get here.
Okay.
David Trusler. Say hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Dave and Dave. We're going to be talking about Dave. So,
oh, boy.
Yeah. So, this is a question that commonly gets asked because Dave Ramsey is the perennial guru when it comes to financial advice, and whatever Dave says is true, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, obviously we're joking. Dave doesn't like annuities. Go figure. Can you explain to us what his issue is as best as you can? And more importantly, should we even be concerned about what Dave Ramsey thinks about annuities?
My response quickly is I don't think it's going to be an issue. I've sold hundreds of annuities over the last several years, and a handful of times, and I mean less than probably 4 or 5, the names ever even brought up. Now, I don't care if it's Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, or whoever else wants to be a self-proclaimed financial expert. I really don't make it a concern of mine. Because quite frankly, they have decent ideas, but most of the time it's a one size fits all. And so really, I will tell you this also, I'm not going to get into a debate over someone's opinion if they like Dave Ramsey or Susie Orman or whoever or not, quite frankly. I just understand. I will ask the client, do you understand why Dave Ramsey thinks this or whatever the case may be? And oftentimes, I just want to know that, what do they feel? What is the client? What's their opinion? Who cares what Dave Ramsey's opinion is? I mean, he's got his reasonings for things, but you know what I found out, and I've never studied Dave Ramsey. I'm not going to knock him or whatever. Obviously, he's done a good job for a lot of people, helped pay off debt and all these things. But
sure.
Oftentimes it's, especially with Susie Orman, oftentimes it's the variable annuities that they don't like. And that's understandable. I'm not a big fan of them either, quite frankly. And so, variable annuities have a bad name because they've got a lot of high fees. There's the mortality and expense. There's the sub-account fees and all these things. And a lot of times, your clients and prospects can get into these annuities, these variable annuities that are 3-4% a year. And that is outrageous. Now, the thing that a lot of the times when I ask people, what do they think about annuities, they try to put annuities all into one bucket like it's all the same thing. Well, a fixed annuity and a fixed indexed annuity obviously is not the same thing as a variable annuity. And I really think, again, I'm not going to get into a heated debate about if I like their opinions or not. It's really about, do you understand what it is that I'm explaining to you? Do you understand what the differences of a fixed annuity and a variable annuity is? And oftentimes they don't. They just need to be educated. We're not going to argue if they're big believers in whoever they listen to. That's fine. Obviously those people have some good advice, or they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. We just have to make sure that the client understands and trusts us, and that we understand what we're trying to explain. That's really it. So I really think it's a non-issue. I wouldn't even worry about it.
Yeah, I was going to ask, even if it was an issue and Dave Ramsey was so believable and all this stuff, how many people have you run across in your career that gave that objection for real? On
probably
one hand,
less than 5. Yeah, absolutely. It's very few. But I've had a few, though. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen. I've had a few people tell me, and it's not just Dave Ramsey. It's whoever they've listened to on the radio or the TV or whatever. And we can't pick on any particular people, but oftentimes it's their brother said or their cousin said or whoever. And so Dave Ramsey is just another name, just like anybody else, that they've heard through the grapevine that annuity has a bad name. And so we just have to address it. We have to understand that, yes, there are some annuities that I don't even like. And let me explain which ones those are. Because again, not all annuities are for everyone. It's not a one size fits all program. You need to make sure that what we're recommending is a good fit for the client. And if it's not, we need to let them know that too. Right. So, again, I wouldn't worry about that objection. I really wouldn't.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's about finding somebody who's open-minded, who's willing to listen and be educated. Right. Because a lot of people, I'm sure in this business, and we see it in life insurance, don't talk about life insurance. It's the program, not life insurance. And part of that reason is sometimes a word that describes something immediately triggers a simplification, a gross oversimplification. Annuities are no different. Right. So-and-so said they're bad and shuts off to it. So our goal is to slow that process down, right? And then open their minds up. And here's what it is for real. Here's where that perception is right. But here's something different that you
Dave, I've had plenty of people that say that I'll bring up the word annuity, and oftentimes I'll do it in this way. Have you ever put any money in annuities? And I'll get the response of no, I've never, or I've heard annuities are bad. Okay, well, tell me, what have you heard? And then let them talk. Well, they heard, that maybe annuities are expensive, or they heard you could lose money in annuities. And then I'll respond, well, there are different types of annuities, and let me explain those types again. Then I'll walk them through the different types: fixed, indexed, and variable, and different things. Some people have the SPIA or whatever they have. We just need to understand, what do they know about them, and then help them to understand that there's different types, and not all, it's not a one size fits all. They just need to know if what we are recommending is right for them or not. So
don't worry about Dave Ramsey.
That's
okay, guys. He's not that popular. It's as long as you're working in the best interest of the client anyway, and you listen to them, you ask them good questions like what David teaches, you'll be fine. You'll work through it. And you'll sell the people who definitely need it. And you won't sell the people who are closed-minded to it, just like it always would have been anyway.
That's all it is.
Yeah. And if you guys want to learn more how our annuity sales and marketing system works, it's very easy. There's links above and below. Simply click those links. It'll take you to an overview page where you can learn more of what we do is a good fit for you. Leave a comment below, and either myself or David will reply. I'd happy to help you out with any questions you have about annuity sales. And in the meantime, thanks for watching. And David, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.